How do you have sex in a busy hospital?
It occurred. I mean, during that time, we were both dealing with a situation that was very detrimental. During that time, we basically bonded.
When me and her mother got together, I was trying to get her sister, her mother's sister. That's how it really started out. What had happened, her mother pushed up and said that I'm gonna make, because her sister wasn't that into me at that time.
When I'm done with this, you can have all my time and you can have it now. I just want to get this divorce and be done with her.
And then, man, it was all the jokes.
Messy, messy, messy.
Miss Sanders steps up, claiming Mr. Jamarvis Brady is the real dad of little Caleb. And yep, she's throwing down a court petition for a DNA test to prove it. Mr. Brady, on the other hand, laughs off the possibility, citing a genetic mismatch. He's all about the eye color as his defense, pushing back that she better chase down Caleb's actual daddy for child support. Buckle up, because this ride's just getting started.
Month-old son Caleb's birth certificate, but now say Caleb's real biological father is the defendant, Mr. Jamarvis Brady. You've petitioned the court for a DNA test to prove that Mr. Brady is your son's father. Mr. Brady, you claim it is genetically impossible that you are Caleb's father, and therefore the plaintiff needs to get her child expenses from her son's real daddy.
Here's where the plot thickens. Miss Sanders opens up about her solo parenting struggles, noting Mr. Brady's zero contribution and support. Mr. Brady chimes in with his philosophy. Why visit or care for a kid that might not even be his? He's not buying the fatherhood story without receipts. Strap in, the roller coaster is about to drop.
The first thing is the green eyes. No one in my family has green eyes. Starting with my grandparents, my grandma don't have green eyes. My granddaddy don't got green eyes. My mama or my daddy. Her either, obviously. Me, I definitely don't have green eyes. I'm trying to figure out where these green eyes come from that's on this baby.
Hold on to your popcorn, folks. The air gets tense as they dive into the nitty-gritty of their rocky communication and shocking pregnancy revelations. Mr. Brady is miffed about discovering baby news through the grapevine, aka Facebook, highlighting a relationship that's been more about drama than romance. The plot's about to thicken, so don't touch that dial.
He saying he don't want me, but he constantly takes my phone, somebody, so what's up?
I come to the house, dudes coming and going all.
How you gonna tell me that dude coming and going, but you not?
I left her house and the dude through the same dude who she was texting.
How you gonna get
came through while I was pulling out.
So you telling me that if you see somebody with your girlfriend, you ain't gonna get mad and try to fight?
You wasn't my girlfriend. We was broken up.
So you ain't gonna get mad and try to fight?
You ain't nothing but my potential baby mother.
Stories are not matching up. It don't make no sense.
You ain't nothing but my potential baby mama.
Just when you think you've seen it all, Miss Sanders recounts her nightmare pregnancy and the horror of a complicated delivery, all while Mr. Brady was MIA. She paints a vivid picture of rushing to deliver Caleb amidst serious health scares. The drama intensifies, and trust me, you'll want to see what's next.
My son, while I was pregnant, he had a cyst on his brain, and the whole time they were saying that, you know, if the cyst don't disappear, that he could possibly have Down. Just a lot that was going on with my pregnancy. Even when I had him and pushed him out, he was still going through a lot. His heart rate jumped from like 140 down, so I had to hurry up and push him out. I pushed him out in about 4 minutes. My water broke at 9:56. He was born at 10 on the dot. His umbilical cord was wrapped around his neck and everything. It was a rough, and Mr. Brady was never there.
And the curveballs keep coming. Miss Sanders drops a bombshell. Another dude's name is on Caleb's birth certificate, because at the time, she was convinced Mr. Brady wasn't the father. But whoops, a DNA test later, and that guy's not the dad either. Up next, watch as this tangle unravels further.
So yes, he did sign a birth certificate, but we got a DNA test found that he was not the father anyway.
She was gonna deliver. She didn't tell me she was delivering the baby or nothing, Your Honor.
So did you inform him that the baby was on its way?
No.
You tested another man?
Yes.
You found out that he was not the father?
Yes.
And after you got that conclusion, you knew that at this point, Mr. Brady was the only other option?
Yes.
And you're positive that he was the only other option?
Yes.
And now, the moment of truth. The DNA results are in, and guess what?
It has been determined by this court, Brady, you are not.
I told her that wasn't my baby, Your Honor.
Sit down.
I told her.
Sit down over there. Stand right where you're standing.
I told her, Your Honor. I knew it wasn't mine. 100% positive.
You won't believe this. Mr. Brown starts off with a bang, asserting his unwavering belief that he is the biological father of Jaira, despite Ms. Lever's firm denial. He passionately recounts how deeply he has bonded with Jaira, providing for her since day one. Ms. Lever shoots back with confidence, certain Mr. Brown is not the father, highlighting the mismatched timelines and her involvement with another man. Just when you think it's heated enough, the next part turns up the temperature even more.
You say you have always believed you were the biological father of the defendant's daughter, Jaira.
Jaira Lever. You have loved her and taken care of her, but now the defendant is denying you are Jaira's dad. You are hoping today's results prove your case. Ms. Lever, you say you are positive the plaintiff is not your daughter's biological father and plan to prove it in court today.
Here comes a curveball. In a revealing moment, Mr. Brown recounts how a casual chat at a football game with a mutual friend first planted seeds of doubt about his paternity. Despite the shocking revelation, Mr. Brown's conviction doesn't waver as he recalls the close relationship and his constant presence during Ms. Lever's pregnancy. Ms. Lever acknowledges their closeness, but sticks to her story about the ex's role during conception. Gear up, because what's coming next is even more jaw-dropping.
During the time that I'm home, Ms. Lever and I were inseparable. You know, we did everything together. Even if it was just a 5-minute grocery store trip, we were together, you know, so I can't see how she had time or the opportunity to be with anyone else.
So you all had a real relationship?
Yes, Your Honor.
Yeah, we did have a relationship, but our relationship has been pretty much rocky throughout the course of the 8 years.
You're not ready for this twist. Ms. Lever steps up with a visual aid, mapping out the timeline of her rocky reconnection with her ex during a tumultuous family crisis. She explains how emotional support led to intimate moments, precisely detailed in her hospital rendezvous. As she lays out her case with the aid of the exhibit, the plot thickens, setting the stage for even more bombshells just around the corner.
Ms. Lever, I just want to ask you, how do you have sex in a busy hospital?
It occurred. I mean, during that time, we were both dealing with a situation that was very detrimental. During that time, we basically bonded.
Was this a one-time thing with your ex in the hospital, or did this continue?
No, it was a one-time thing.
Hold on to your seats. The spotlight shifts to Genesis, another child caught in the paternity crossfire. Mr. Brown expresses serious doubts about being Genesis's father, pointing to Ms. Lever's other romantic entanglements during the crucial periods. The revelations expose the deep-seated and unresolved issues between Mr. Brown and Ms. Lever, turning the courtroom drama up a notch. And believe it or not, what follows is an even bigger can of worms.
Around the time that Genesis was conceived, Your Honor, Ms. Lever was involved with another individual that I saw with my eyes personally.
Were you involved with another man?
Me and Mr. Brown was on, we were on a break.
What type of break are you having?
We are no longer together because you are manipulated. You call my phone with all that crying and...
I take the weight off of her.
No, you don't.
Having to be, I take the...
8 years, this man
honestly,
do not work.
And now, for the moment we've all been waiting for, the judge finally reveals the DNA test results, and the courtroom is electric with anticipation.
It has been determined by this court. Mr. Brown, you are the father.
Can you believe how we kicked things off? Judge Lake lays down the situation with Ms. Walker, who's on a heartfelt quest for truth after her brush with death, eager to pinpoint her biological dad. She's convinced Bruce Simmons might be the guy, but first, she's got to sway his skeptical wife. Just the beginning, folks. Strap in for more eyebrow raisers.
That your near-death experience has made your desire to determine your biological father. After believing one man was your father, you learned about another possibility. Now, you'll meet him for the first time in a minute, but you say you must first prove to his doubtful wife.
Here's where it gets juicy. Mrs. Simmons stands her ground, utterly convinced her husband Bruce couldn't possibly be Ms. Walker's father. She throws down a sterility claim that dates back decades. Talk about a plot twist. Buckle up, because this roller coaster's just hit the first climb.
That there's absolutely no way your husband is Ms. Walker's biological father. Walker needs to let go of this fantasy and move on to another candidate.
We've been together since we were 15. We just got married 2003. I have 2 biological kids. I believe he can't make no kids.
Oh, the plot thickens. Ms. Walker dives into her backstory, hitting us with a tale of medical emergencies and mistaken paternity that sounds straight out of a soap opera. She ties it together with a mysterious family reunion instigated by a roadside encounter. You won't believe what's coming up next. Keep your popcorn handy.
And in order to have this lung biopsy, they said that I can reach out to my family before they went for donor blood. So I called my dad that I was told that was give blood so I wouldn't have to have donor blood. The doctors comes into me and told me, the guy that you were thinking that's your father, there's no possible way we wasn't able to use his blood.
The temperature's rising in here as Ms. Simmons disputes Ms. Walker's story, calling it a fantasy. Judge Lake steps in to try and cut through the fog. The courtroom's buzzing, and just when you think it can't get more heated, the next revelation is a doozy.
Lie to me, that's my husband.
You, but I'm not asking y'all for nothing. I don't want nothing. Don't.
You building somebody.
No, I don't.
Are you upset that she made contact, or are you upset that your husband may be her biological father?
No, never that, because he wants to be a father.
Hold on. you say none of that.
None of that.
Get ready for a curveball. Judge Lake digs deep, underscoring the stakes involved. This isn't just about family trees, it's about Ms. Walker's health. She recounts a voice message from Bruce Simmons that threw her for a loop, shared with just about everyone she knows. The suspense is building, and what happens next might just topple your socks off.
Mr. Simmons tell you he believed that he's your father.
Yes, ma'am, he did.
He did.
He did. Jerome, I think it's time we meet Mr.
Yeah,
Simmons.
please bring him in. Please.
Hello. Can I give you a hug?
Here comes a major player. Bruce Simmons steps into the spotlight with his version of events, detailing a fleeting romantic escapade with Ms. Walker's mom that sounds like a weekend to remember, or forget, depending on who you ask. The tale adds layers to the drama, and guess what? There's more to come.
When me and her mother got together, I was trying to get her sister, her mother's sister. That's how it really started out. It happened, her mother pushed up and said that I'm gonna make, because her sister wasn't that into me at that time. Courting each other, they called it courting back then. And we made plans to spend that weekend together. So we spent that weekend together, and then after that, we lost touch with each other.
All right, here's a critical moment. Bruce addresses the big S, sterility. He admits to some issues, but isn't buying the whole sterile story. This opens up a can of worms about potential paternity, backed by medical ailments that run in the family. Hold tight, this revelation train has no brakes.
And it runs in my
Okay,
family.
can I say something?
My son has diabetes. He's 12 years old. On the men's side of their family runs diabetes. The cancer, me and my daughters have a rare cancer cell. I'm somewhere close to finding out.
That's one reason why I'm propelled to really find out, because there is a medical history in my family.
Feel that tension? It's palpable. The saga reaches its peak with a clash over Bruce's late-night chats with Ms. Walker, stirring up a storm of jealousy and suspicion. This courtroom drama is morphing into a full-blown telenovela. Prepare for the verdict. It's going to be monumental.
Intimately, this is a young woman. No. What I observe is a level of animosity with two women that are involved in the same man sexually, not involved with the same man because he's your husband. She can't take that away, but he potentially might be her biological father.
And now for the grand finale. The air's thick with anticipation as Judge Lake delivers the DNA test results, and the verdict is...
It has been determined by this court, Mr. Bruce Simmons, you are not her father.
I'm sorry.
Can you believe that just happened? Jerome adjourns the court and asks Ms. Walker to step up. Ms. Norville explains that she summoned the defendant and his wife to court to prove that he is the father of her 7-month-old daughter, Jacqueline. She attributes his denial to his wife's influence, describing the wife as immature. Just wait, the drama is about to escalate.
You summoned the defendant and his wife court to prove that he fathered your 7-month-old daughter, Jacqueline. You say his denial stems from his immature wife, and you're here to set them straight.
The tension in the room just spiked. Ms. Norville affirms her claim that Mr. and Mrs. Ward's denial of paternity is influenced by Mrs. Ward. In response, Mr. and Mrs. Ward blame Ms. Norville for the paternity uncertainty, citing her previous infidelity. They express confidence that the DNA test will absolve Mr. Ward of being the father. Stay tuned, the revelations are just around the corner.
Mr. and Mrs. Ward, you state that Ms. Norville is the only person to blame for this DNA drama because she cheated with her ex. You and your wife are confident the results will put you are not Jacqueline's father.
Did you catch that shift? In a heated exchange, Ms. Norville accuses Mr. Ward of changing his stance on paternity after marrying his wife, who he had known for only 2 weeks before their marriage. She highlights how Mr. Ward had initially acknowledged the possibility of his paternity when she discovered her pregnancy. The next part is going to leave you stunned.
Because prior to him marrying the defendant, the person he's known that he knew for 2 weeks, he never denied it. He was there when I found out I was pregnant. We were living together. So I don't understand now all of a sudden since the new baby and the new wife.
But then you put him out.
I don't understand how the new baby and the new wife, now she's not mine.
This is turning into a real showdown. Ms. Norville recounts their prior cohabitation and Mr. Ward's presence during the early stage of her pregnancy, suggesting his initial acceptance. She is baffled by his subsequent denial after his marriage and the birth of a new baby, attributing his inconsistency to his wife's influence. Brace yourself. The drama intensifies next.
That's Mrs. Ward.
He just texted you last night?
I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to get married.
Oh, you came with receipts?
I didn't mean to get married. I mean, it's just so much.
What is that in your hand?
I mean,
this
who's
is the
he with
message
every
from
night?
him. No.
So hold on, Miss Norville, what do you have in your hand?
The text message from him last night while he was in the hotel room with the...
You won't believe what she brought to court. A dramatic reveal occurs when Ms. Norville presents a text message from Mr. Ward apologizing for his marriage, sent from a hotel room he shared with his wife the previous night. The judge and courtroom react with surprise as she reads the message aloud. Things are about to get even more heated.
Nasty.
Oh, so this comes from Dean Ward.
Yes, ma'am.
I got married, which I shouldn't have. Just understand me, I'm sorry.
Yes, ma'am.
The courtroom was in disbelief. Ms. Norville provides a text from Mr. Ward expressing regret over his marriage and a desire to reconcile after a divorce. The judge queries Mr. Ward about his commitment to his marriage in light of the ongoing communication with Ms. Norville. Watch out, the situation escalates in the next moment.
I don't see you or get to talk to you, but I have to be miserable, no Kadeem. Then you write back, Mr. Ward, when I'm done with this, you can have all my time and you can have it now. I just want to get this divorce and be done with her.
And then, man, it was all the jokes.
Messy, messy, messy.
And then you say, bye, Kadeem.
What a tangled web they weave. The discussion shifts back to the paternity issue. Mr. Ward denies his presence at the birth and early life of Jacqueline, attributing it to the turmoil caused by Ms. Norville's actions. The judge struggles to maintain order as both parties argue over the circumstances surrounding the birth and paternity acknowledgement. The climax is just around the corner.
Yeah, I mean, because goodbye means forever.
You getting all these text messages while he has a wife?
You wrote me first.
I did?
You definitely wrote me
What
first.
does it? Who cares who texts first?
You
if
definitely
this
wrote me
is
first.
James?
Like,
You
here and there,
definitely
we're
wrote
about
me
to date.
first.
Not my
He
marriage.
wanted to
That's
know
not what we're here
girl,
about.
that's not a marriage.
We're-
He wanted to know what hotel I was at. That's not a
Hey,
marriage,
let's get some
sweetheart.
order in here. You say he was perfectly comfortable with the baby until he got married.
This was the moment everyone was waiting for. The climax of the episode arrives with the DNA test results.
It has been determined by this court. Mr. Ward, you are the father.
Yes, I knew it.
When it comes to 1-month-old Kadeem Ward Jr., it has been determined by this court. Mr. Ward, you are the father.